with my Armageddon pugs in the background, leading us into the future. Welcome back, Traffic Tuesday. Aaron and Christina, Six Figure Store Secrets. How are you today, Christina?
Doing well, doing well. Greetings from Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky today. So, we're wanting to share, what else works really good for traffic. It's Traffic Tuesday.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to share. We're going to chat about some organic strategies today. And I know you have some good stuff that you're going to share here about going into groups on Facebook and kind of some under the radar type things to get to increase some mind share out there and get people to know, like, and trust you a little bit so that ultimately they can make that purchase from your store.
Definitely, yes. And I'm trying to open up my other screen here to see if anybody has questions for us as we start. Chime in, let us know you're here. You have questions. But, as we talk about, organic traffic or free traffic, right? And yes, you've heard of paid traffic, and, paid traffic, you're probably going to get a faster result on in terms of return on investment, but a long-term play is organic traffic. Okay. How do you do that? One of the things I want to share today is, about Facebook groups, right? If you're not in one already, you've been invited to a ton of them. And if you are in Facebook groups, you see all kinds of chatter going back and forth. You hear, Susie Smith talking about a problem. You hear, Robert W., trying to get over a hurdle as a newbie. You hear experienced people having problems when something stops working, right? When you start to see some commonalities, right, and kind of see, these are some good challenges within the group, within the product line, within whatever that group is about, okay? Mm-hmm. And some simple things that you can do as an observer within the group, being a part of the group, is you can help chime in and answer some of those questions people have. Okay. And in that process of answering people's questions, concerns, they need help, they will start to see your name pop up. The more and more that you do it, your name will start to get recognized. Oh, that person had some really good answers. Or the other person on the receiving end, oh my God, that worked great. So-and-so answered my question. And people will start to see you as an authority. Like, oh gosh, that person seems to know a lot. And usually what happens when they start to recognize your name, they'll click on your name and check out your personal profile. So you want to make sure on your personal profile, you have a way that people can get in touch with you if they want to. They want to pursue you. They want to send you a message. Mm-hmm. And that's just a very simple strategy. Now, when I'm saying being helpful, answering questions, that is literally all you are doing. You are not spamming, say, hey, click a call with me. That would be no. That'd be a no. So, you're reaching out, you're being helpful. And I know in different ways of this organic traffic, people actually track it. Just like how Aaron and I, we speak and talk about, tracking information, like even on, your targeting, like in audience insights, right, Aaron? Like we talked about that here within the groups, that, just keeping track, where did you post? Create a little Google sheet. What group did you post in? What did you answer? And just going through. And so you have a tool to measure from. Mm-hmm. Okay. The more you do it, the more you answer, you'll start to see some of the trickle down effects of people reaching out to you over time. Is it instantaneous? Not necessarily, but maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of doing that consistently, maybe answering 50 questions a day in your different groups, and then you'll start to see 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, where people start to reach out to you. Like, oh my gosh, your name keeps popping up. This person must know a lot about XYZ software. Oh gosh, I keep seeing this person's name. People recommending this person, and you start to keep track and be like, okay, a few months down the line, you've done 300 answers, 300 shares, right? You start to be able to track how many people are reaching you.
Mm.
And when people reach out to you, say, how did you hear about me? Whether it's through your calendar, your messages, your phone. I mean, it all depends on how much information you have on your Facebook, personal page, just how people get a hold of you. But it's always important to find out, how did they find you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just one more little tool that you can add to your tool belt, okay? And it's an excellent way if you don't have money for ad spend.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has an extra $1,000, $5,000 a month to spend on ad spend. But you know what? You got time. You got time and you got fingers. A lot of typing. So it's in the form of helping. Okay. I just want to make sure I get that very clear. It's in the form of helping.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I see so many out there that are, spamming in comments and just trying to promote their product or promote their service. And it comes off as very spammy, and I always wonder how effective it really is. And ultimately it's not very effective at all, because, Facebook is a social media tool or social media gathering, in order to get to know other people, right? It's not just to push a product on someone or push a service on someone. It's actually to create those relationships. And so when you were sharing just a little bit ago, finding out the problems in those groups, and then how can I lend a hand? How can I help solve that problem in that group? That's what triggers, being helpful is what triggers that potential relationship to develop.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's relationship building, and that's what it all comes down to.
Mm.
You're building that trust. We talk about know, like, trust. Part of building that trust, people see you answer, and people see, others responding back to you. And, just a reminder too, just, know the rules of the group. Every group kind of has different rules to make sure you're not violating rules, and playing kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help you long term. And it's just like anything we do, right? If we put a tool into practice and we keep strengthening that muscle, right? With time, it gets easier. With time, you gain more presence. With time, as you grow your business, maybe you're just a one-person show. Maybe you have 5 people on your team. As you get in the routine of doing that, this might be something down the line where you can pass off to a VA that's on your team. So it's not so time consuming, but you do it enough, you have the history to even help train somebody else to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Something, as you're doing this and you start to see the good effects of it, start videoing what you're doing. Just do a little screen grab. Everybody's got Loom or Zoom or something. Just share it so you have the information to share with a future potential team member for you on your team. And
That's a great point, Christina. Yeah, use some screen capture software to video yourself doing what you're doing, so that ultimately you can pass off that task to to someone on your team in order to get that done for you. So you free yourself up from that time.
definitely, and keep in mind, everybody, this is an excellent tool. Do not overlook this step. Many of us are scrappy. I know I'm scrappy. That's where I started. You got to figure out what are the tools that I can use right now. Many of you could be pivoting from something else, another career. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe, you're looking for your side hustle. Maybe you've jumped in with both feet. Add this to your tool belt. And over time, keep in mind, it's just like watering flowers. You see that flower sprout from the ground by day 2. It takes a few days, right? So just remember, you're going to keep watering your garden. I guess that's a good analogy right now with spring coming, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
My yard's ready. Just think of it that way. You are starting to water your garden.
Mm-hmm.
For the future. And that just builds over time.
Very seasonally appropriate. Absolutely, Christina.
So I'm curious if anybody has any questions that's watching us live right now. If you do, please chime in, say hello. Let me see if I can see it here live in the group.
Yeah, while you're checking those, I just kind of I've been taking some notes over here into what you've been sharing, and I just kind of encapsulating everything in a little checklist here. So step 1, make sure your profile is optimized for your store, for your niche, right? And so that people know that you're in business and know how to get a hold of you and know the website in order to purchase a product, and optimize your profile around that. So one comes to mind, one of our mastery students, she's in the Yorkie dog Yorkies niche. It would behoove her to optimize her profile for her love of Yorkies and for her store around that central theme of Yorkies. And of course, a link back to her Yorkies store. And that brings us to step number 2, is that after her profile is optimized for that space, she would go out and start to join groups of other Yorkie lovers, right? Those that love their Yorkies just like she does. And to that end, what do we do once we're in those groups? We're not out there spamming, come to my store, look at this new product or anything like that. We're providing value and answering questions and seeing any problems that are out there and being problem solvers, right? And commenting on others. So we're not even, I think this is a great point here, that you're not necessarily even going out and creating posts in those groups. You're just answering questions in those groups and commenting on questions, right?
Correct. Yeah, you are just out there being helpful, answering questions.
Being helpful, yes. Okay, answering questions, providing that value. And so in multiple groups, so, for Yorkie lovers, there's probably multiple groups that she could get into and start making those comments.
There's a lot of dog loving groups out there, and I'm sure there's plenty for Yorkies.
Absolutely.
And, on different levels. So most definitely. And I mean, it could be for answering questions as far as grooming, right? As far as food, you think of, like leashes and harnesses that are great for Yorkies because of their size, right? They're more petite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Special things that do cater to a Yorkie. Like I know every time I see a Yorkie, their hair is done and they have a cute little bow. There is I'm sure there's a whole group just on Yorkie bows, right?
I want to be in that group.
Which color's appropriate for which one at what time of season. I'm sure there's some secret code out there. I don't know because I don't have a Yorkie, but you know where I'm going with that. It's like Yorkie code. There's something out there. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you just got to start doing it. Then you start to see little nuances within that niche.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
and people just start to recognize you. But make sure if you do want people to get in touch with you, that your Facebook profile is public.
Oh, yeah. Great point there. Yeah. You need to make sure that you go over into your settings and make your profile public.
Yes. So that when people go to search you, that they can see it.
Right. Yeah. That's a great point there. Yeah. You don't want to go out and spend all of this time, energy, providing all of this value, and then ultimately they can't click back and see what you're all about.
Definitely. Yeah. That would be a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, good point. Reminder, if you are doing this organic strategy, to open your Facebook profile to public.
Right. Well, let me encapsulate and recap kind of what we've been chatting here. One, it's a longer term play, but like you said, it's like watering the flowers over time. Your garden is going to grow, but you have to stay consistent and stay at it, joining multiple groups, providing that value. The more you provide, the more you answer those comments, the more you tag people and share and do all of those sorts of things, your name is going to appear again and again. You're going to begin to occupy a little bit of mind share of those out there in your space. And then ultimately what they're going to do is click back to check you out on your profile and potentially go purchase from your store, provided the link that you've provided. Since you've set your profile public, they can see your profile and then follow the link over to your store. And then ultimately, when those conversations, because what's going to happen is you're going to have some conversations over Messenger, and the relationships are going to form, and you're going to have these conversations. They're going to ask what you do and those products that you provide. You're going to want to track those conversations and those people that you're forging relationships with, and then ask them ultimately how they found you. And I think that is a fantastic direction for organic outreach to get those eyeballs and potential purchasers for your store.
So don't get some sleep tonight. Take up this tool. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah.
As you move forward with it.
Excellent share, Christina. Thank you for that on Traffic Tuesdays, chatting the Facebook group strategy for organic traffic. We will cut it off right there and move into our Tuesdays, and look forward to Trending Product Thursdays coming up day after tomorrow, noon Pacific. We'll see everybody then on Thursdays. Bye for now.